What's going on, guys? Zazubaar here. I have some new Godzilla 3D slash Legendary Pictures Godzilla news for you guys. Now, I know I said back during the King Kong vs. Godzilla commentary that I wasn't going to post a new Godzilla video until the new Godzilla Gang story arc came out, but I feel compelled to. There has been a very big new piece of news that has jumped all over the Godzilla fandom in this past weekend that I haven't made a video on because I've been super crazy busy. I felt compelled to make this video because you guys have been asking my opinion on it. And first thing, before I get to the actual article itself and the news piece, I have to, of course, as always, thank the people who brought this to my attention. Of course, the Warlord 900, dude, you are freaking amazing. Every time a new piece of Godzilla news comes out, you always send me the links. So I really want to thank you especially because you've been just like sending me stuff ever since last year. So thank you so much. You're one of my treasured friends on YouTube. So thank you very much. Also, thanks goes out to Ricky Kenji, who also sent me a different link for an article about this. You've also been extremely supportive of my Legendary Pictures Godzilla videos for just as long, if not longer, the Warlord 900. You've also been sending me links, and I thank you so much for that. So I just want to say thanks to Ricky Kenji and the Warlord 900, who both gave me the articles, which all of the articles that they sent me, plus another one, will be in the description below, as always. So you can check those out and make your own opinions. So let's get on to the news itself now that I've delayed it to the last possible moment. So I have had 3 videos, counting this one now, of videos called with the word Godzilla and writer in the title, and this is going to be number 3. Apparently, Legendary has gotten another writer to work on the screenplay for Godzilla 3D. And it's a name I didn't even know until I did a little research. Apparently Legendary has hired a new writer named Max Bronstein to work on the screenplay, or no, I'm sorry, Max Borenstein. Not Bronstein. I apologize for that. Max Bronstein. I'm so sorry. Max Borenstein to work on Godzilla 3D. First things first. Let's see. Maybe 3 months ago, maybe a little more than that. Didn't you guys get David Goyer to write this thing? And I'm sure you are all wondering what the hell. I mean, didn't I report 3 months ago that David Goyer was going to be writing this thing? Yes, I did. Here's my theory. And this is also what Gorzard6 said, so I'm going to put a link to his video in the description also, since we share a very similar opinion. My opinion and his is that Max Borenstein is just going to write the screenplay itself. David Goyer for The Dark Knight didn't write the actual full fleshed out screenplay. In fact, his original story didn't even go to screen. If you're not familiar with the story, Two-Face wasn't supposed to die at the end of, oh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, which you should. The Dark Knight is one of the best movies ever made. Two-Face wasn't supposed to die at the end of The Dark Knight. Goyer originally just said that Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face at the end of the film to be set up as the next villain in the next movie. If I'm not mistaken, I even think he wanted the Joker to die, but I'm not sure on that, so don't crucifix me if you, crucify me if I'm wrong on that. So I think he did the same thing for Godzilla. I think he plotted out the story and the characters and just the situation, where this might fit in the Godzilla mythos. So that's what I think happened. I think he just plotted out the story, the characters, the mythos, and everything like that. Didn't actually write a full screenplay. That's my theory anyway. That hasn't been confirmed. And also, again, that's Gorzard6's theory as well. So again, click on his video in the description. And Max Borenstein is just going to flesh out the screenplay with his own, of course, unique style of writing. Just based on Goyer's outline, I guess we'll call it now. So here's the thing, though. This is starting to become another Godzilla 98. And not in terms of the film's quality. Guys, I'm excited as hell for this movie. I guess you guys have figured that by now. But here's the thing. Movie productions are a complicated matter unless it's an independent movie. Even then. The fact that this is bouncing around to so many writers and so many, just people, dropping on and off of this film is definitely a worry. and but it's not like it doesn't guarantee the movie's going to be bad. Now, what I said earlier about it being another 98, just the situation leading up to the film. I'm not talking about the film itself. Um, I'm sure everyone knows this story by now. If you haven't, then check out mine and Gorzard 6's Godzilla chat because we talked about this extensively. Back in like I think it was '93 when Toho originally gave TriStar the rights to make a new Godzilla film in America, and they went. There were countless writers that were attached to it, countless scripts, countless directors, countless. No, I think the producers remained overall the same, but it changed a little bit, of course. And not the thing about this movie is that the producers have remained either identical or only a couple of names have bounced around a little bit. Of course, Brian Rogers, Ray Lee, Yoshimoto Banno have all remained the same, which is definitely a good sign. If you change producers, your film is going to change a lot. Um, and this is worrying me because this means that the story might turn into another Wolfman scenario. So many writers might get their hands on it that it'll become very convoluted. And the characters specifically might lose their interesting factors, their importance of characterization, not just plot, not just being driven by the plot. Um, and that's my main worry here, is that if it gets bounced around to even more writers after Max Borenstein, then that's going to turn into a convoluted mess, regardless of how connected each writer is to each other. It's just a matter of course. It's like that game. Remember that game Phone or like some Phone something, maybe Phone Line that you used to play in the car as kids, where you would like, pass a message around and whoever was last would say the message, and it was usually completely different from what was originally started. That's what it eventually becomes. So I hope that Max Borenstein will just flesh out the screenplay. Legendary will finally say to themselves, okay, we have to get this thing going. Gareth Edwards will set to work on the film, and we'll get a film in around 2013. That's my main hope, that this is the last writer. Because if it keeps happening, you're going to get a phone situation where it's just going to keep changing for the worse and get more convoluted. Now, you all are probably wondering what's my opinion on Max Borenstein himself being the writer. Here's what I have to say about that. Who the hell is Max Borenstein? Joke aside, I don't know the man. I don't know his work. There's 3 movies that, or titles of movies, that the Warlord 900 sent me, and thank you again for that. Sword Swallowers, interesting title. Thin Men, okay, and The Seventh Son. A lot of S's, and T's. I have no clue about these movies. I probably should have done this. I should have done research about them before I started this, but I don't think that it's going to affect that much. Godzilla 3D is going to be his first major film production. He has 2 other screenplays with Legendary right now, and that's why he was chosen. Because apparently they were so impressed with his screenplay on a movie called The Artisan Steel that they wanted him to write Godzilla after Goyer, I guess, wrote the outline. Again, just guessing on that one. That one hasn't been confirmed. That's just my my theory. And I just don't have an opinion on the man. I guess he must be good for Legendary to say, come work on our giant mega movie that everyone's so hyped for. I guess the Artisan Steel script must be good at the very least. Guys, I really don't know what to say about him. I'm not familiar with his work. So I can't really form an opinion, just based on names or works that I'm not familiar with. So I want to see what he does with it, and now that I know him, I'm definitely going to check out his work, just to see what we might be dealing with here. And if I really have a new opinion based on that, then I will make a follow-up video, but for now, I really don't have an opinion on Max Borenstein as an individual writing the script. My only worry, of course, is that this will get bounced around to too many writers, and it'll become a convoluted mess. So yes, this is both good and bad news. We're not really good at all. I mean, I would love if David Goyer would actually write the screenplay, but of course that's not going to happen now. So this is kind of just news. I mean, I really don't have much of an opinion on it. Except that I'm worried now that this might get bounced around to too many writers and become convoluted, as I said many times. So, really not much else. Oh, yes, there is. I'm sorry. There's another piece of mega news that I have to bring up. Apparently, and this isn't just one article I got this from, this was in almost every article about this story that I've gotten. Apparently Toho has been keeping a much closer eye on this production than we have come to realize. I mean, sure, we were all sure they were watching it, but we didn't know how much control they were going to have over it itself. Apparently Toho is not that stupid, because they know that if they just let it go, there's a very good chance that it could turn out as bad as 98. So, here's what they're saying. They're trying to get Legendary to use a suit to characterize Godzilla. Now, I know over a year ago I reported that Legendary was pretty much saying that Godzilla is definitely going to be CG, and we all got used to the idea. Apparently that's not guaranteed now. Apparently, there's a good chance that we could get another suit with animatronics and CG touch-ups. My opinion on that. Yes! Again, joking aside, I'm excited now. I'm really, really excited to see what they do with it. I mean, we were all so pumped to see Godzilla in CG, I guess, to see it done right. But, I don't know, I'm so used to seeing Godzilla in a suit, characterized in that fashion, that I was always a little bit worried that when I go see it in theaters, I might be put off by the fact that it is a suit. So, I don't really have much to report on that, except that it's definitely good news that Toho is keeping their asses on Legendary, just to make sure that they do this thing right, or hopefully do it right. Try to make it the best movie they can make it, I guess is the way to say it. So I'm definitely excited that they're going to try and go for a suit. My only worry is that don't make it look like 84 with the animatronics. At least try to make the animatronics look convincing and real. It'll be definitely nice to see some more conventional effects done in film now, with everything being CG. Just because that's the standard form of characterizing creatures nowadays, doesn't mean you have to follow that. You can use suits nowadays and it can still look good. If there's a talented person behind the camera, and there's a talented designer on the suit, and a talented director of special effects. That's the bottom line, guys. If we have a talented team here who has a very specific goal and knows what they want to do with it, that's the only thing I can hope for. I think that a suit is probably not really the best way to go, but it's a good direction. That, again, this is going to be a tribute to Godzilla. And one that's going to be very Godzilla-esque and not just a complete reimagining that really barely resembles the character. That they're going to be as close to the character as they can be, and that's definitely a good sign. And again, only further proves that Legendary cares about this character and they want to get it right. Or at the very least, they're being pushed by Toho to do so. But regardless, I still think Legendary and the production team cares about this character, and they want to see him done right. I mean, he got a shitty movie back in 98. Partly due to the CGI, I guess, or it was more the design of the monster itself, not really the CGI that was a problem. In fact, I stated in my Godzilla 2 Honest Thoughts video that I thought the CGI was rather impressive, not really taking into account the creature design. So I think really what I want is a good Godzilla design, and I talked about this extensively, but, and I didn't really want the CG or being a suit kind of was just, as long as it's a good design, and whichever the design looks good in, use that. That's pretty much the bottom line here. We had two very big pieces of news, a new writer, and the potential of seeing another suit. So, make of that what you will. Definitely write comments on whether you guys want to see Godzilla done in CG, how you feel about this being a new writer, again, and how you feel about Goyer leaving, or being done with it, I guess. Not really leaving, just being done with it. So definitely let me know. So definitely write comments. Type away. And also, of course, check out the links in the description for all the articles I talked about today. And if you want to check out Gorzard's 6 opinion on this very topic. So thanks a lot for watching, as always. I love you guys all. Zazubaar out.